The Long Dark is a survival exploration game developed by Hinterland Studio. It takes place in Canada after a geomagnetic disaster and is perhaps one of the most unique survival games I have played, where facing the elements can be just as deadly as predators. When starting a new game, you are placed in a random location where you must do whatever you can to survive. Find shelter, food, clothing, and try not to go crazy while being cooped up all alone. So, on to deciding whether or not The Long Dark is the game for you. Starting with the pros, the feeling of immersion and realism is unmatched. While you're out exploring, there's very little interface to hinder your view of the surrounding beauty. To add to this, there is no in-game map for The Long Dark. Instead, you must pick up charcoal from your burnt-out fires and survey your surroundings yourself. Because of the disaster, there is no compass or GPS, and if you draw a map, you must be able to figure out where you are within it on your own. The environments are stylized but incredibly beautiful, and despite everything being snow-covered, the areas still manage to have a unique beauty from one map to the next. The game doesn't hold your hand. It throws you right into figuring out how to make it to the next day alive on your own while you slowly uncover mechanics for yourself. It may actually be a turnoff for some that there is no tutorial, but I personally feel like it adds to the experience. While you can decide to make your own path in the game, The Long Dark does give you some goals should you choose to follow them. Loads of achievements are available for completionists who will not be disappointed. Not only are there 4 different difficulty levels to play, but there are also various challenge scenarios along with the story mode. There are a total of 5 chapters to unfold included with the game. The first 2 are available on August 1st and the rest at a later time. Along with that comes some fantastic voice acting, boasting industry favorites Jennifer Hale and David Hayter. Moving on to the Cod List, the most daunting of them all for many will likely be the price. Sitting at $35, it is probably a bit steeper than a lot of gamers want to pay for an indie title. However, if you're a fan of the genre, then I assure you it is well worth the price, but if your funds are tight, you may want to wait for a sale. One of the biggest gripes I have with the game mechanics is the lack of multitasking. While your character boils water, you must sit there and watch it instead of using your time for something else useful. Loot is somewhat random, although there are specific locations where certain things have the possibility of spawning, but it can mean a quick demise if you're not lucky enough to find a few crucial tools early on. Animals are restrained to a patrol box, which makes the behavior feel a little unnatural at times. Nature wouldn't be so predictable as to allow the memorization of a predator's location, but after all, we do have to remember it's a video game. Lastly, and I know this one is a bit of a controversial gripe, but it bugs me to no end that there is no jumping. I understand that if you're carrying a bag that weighs 30 kilograms, you're not going to be able to get much air, but the fact that you can't so much as climb or hop up a small rock or log in front of you and instead have to potentially walk a long ways around can be bothersome at times. Overall, The Long Dark is an excellent fresh take on the survival genre that you could easily find yourself sinking hundreds of hours into. If you're the kind of person that enjoys nature and survival, I definitely recommend heading over to Steam or your console to start playing this game today. For anyone who does decide to pick up the game and wants a bit of a jump start, I have provided a link to my spoiler-free tips video in the description below. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, stay foxy.